Now, since the United Nations General Assembly designated April 2nd as World Autism Awareness Day in 2007, global efforts have focused on advancing the rights and inclusion of individuals with autism. Globally, around 1 in 100 children is diagnosed with autism, while an estimated 1 in 127 people worldwide, are on the autism spectrum. Now, in Vietnam, autism is estimated to affect around 1% of children. And despite progress, many individuals with autism continue to face daily challenges, including delays in early diagnosis, limited access to specialized education and therapy, and a shortage of trained support services. Social stigma and misunderstanding remain major barriers to full inclusion. And in 2026, the observance carries the theme Autism and Humanity. Every life has value, calling for a shift from outdated narratives and reaffirming the dignity and rights of autistic people. Aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, it highlights how embracing neurodiversity can foster more inclusive and resilient societies. So while global efforts continue to advance inclusion, the reality on the ground can vary widely from country to country. And in Vietnam, awareness around autism has improved in recent years, but gaps in support systems, social acceptance, and access to services still remain. So what progress has been made and what challenges persist? We now connect with Bạch Thùy Linh, a representative from Vietnam Autism Network, to find out more. Thùy Linh, good to have you with us. So what are the biggest challenges that people with autism in Vietnam and their families still face today?
Thank you for your question. As the mother of a 14-year-old child with autism, I've been walking this journey with my son since he was 2. Through my involvement with the Vietnam Autism Network, I've also had a chance to listen to many other families. So if I have to name the biggest challenge, I would say it is the journey that families have to go through. And it is not an easy one, of course. In the early years, many parents have to figure out nearly everything on their own. And it is not always easy to access like early diagnosis or the right intervention. And as the children grow older, the new challenge appears. So schools and teachers, I think they are trying their best, but there is still a big lack of resources and specialized training for teachers. So not everyone understands what parents with children with autism are going through. And not every family has a strong support system to rely on.
Right. So from your personal experience and your surrounding, what efforts are currently being made in Vietnam to support people with autism and promote greater awareness and inclusion?
Well, from the perspective of the Vietnam Autism Network, we can see that Vietnam has made important progress in recent years, especially in terms of policies. So one key milestone is Circular 01 issued in 2019, which officially included autism under the category of other disabilities. So this allows people with autism to access social support and health insurance benefits under the law on persons with disabilities. So this is a very important foundation for families, like us. And in addition, both the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education have clear directions, such as like early screening, early intervention, and inclusive education. So the vision toward 2030 is that every province will have proper screening and diagnosis systems, as well as trained teachers and support services for children with autism.
Yes, and this year's World Autism Day's theme is Autism and Humanity. Every life has value. So from your perspective, what does this message mean in today's Vietnamese context?
Yeah, thank you for such an interesting question. Well, for me, as a mother, when I hear the message, we can say every life matters, right? The first thing I think of is that, well, our children do not need to be like others to be accepted. Instead, see them as children with neurodiversity. Each of them has their own way of developing, feeling, and expressing themselves. So in Vietnam today, I think this message is very, very meaningful, especially for families like us. So when we see children as like equal individuals, not as people who need to be fixed, but as people who need to be like supported, and then I think true inclusion can begin.
Yes, thank you, Thuy Linh, for your sharings. Now, it's clear that progress has been made in the support for people with autism in Vietnam, and thanks to which many young people on the autism spectrum are now able to grow, express themselves, and take part in society in their own way. And our following story takes a closer look at one such example.
Once a week, the members of this band come together. The small room quickly fills with music and voices blending together. What makes this band special is that every member is on the autism spectrum, each in a different way, with different strengths and challenges. What began as music therapy has gradually brought them together. It has taken nearly 8 years for them to finally play as a band.
8 years ago, when I first started working with them, it was just small instruments and simple melodies. At that time, all we hoped for was that they would stay in place, not run off, and complete their performance. Now, 8 years later, their understanding of music has deepened, and their emotions and musical spirit are expressed much more clearly. That is what moves me the most.
From 2025, the band started performing on different stages. When they perform together, they become completely different, more focused, more confident, and fully immersed in the music.
I feel proud of my child and of all the children. When they play together, connect with one another, you can feel something deeper, that this is the result of their great effort and that their abilities have grown.
The band now performs confidently before large audiences, with the music also shared through professionally produced videos on social media. More importantly, these performances are reshaping public perception, helping people see young people with autism not for their limitations, but for their abilities and potentials.
What matters most is helping people understand that those on the autism spectrum are just like anyone else. They have their own strengths, their own value, and the ability to be part of society. For many families having children with autism, seeing these performances also brings hope, showing that their children can achieve more than they once thought and giving them the confidence to keep going.